Hi, Professor. Thank you so much for coming on today. It's truly a pleasure to have you on.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate you asking.
Of course. So I'd love if you could start off with an introduction of yourself and kind of what got you to where you are today.
Well, my name's John Bizjak. I'm a professor of finance at Texas Christian University. I've see, uh, been in the field now, about 30 years teaching and doing research. So I've got more years behind me than ahead of me. In terms of what got me here, well, I took a class in high school in economics. And I was just fascinated by the subject. And it was at that time, I think it was unusual to have an economics class in high school, not so much now. And I just found it interesting, and in particular, the more macro side of it, how economies function, how institutions like the Fed, politics come into play. And then I decided I wanted to major in that as an undergrad. And what I also liked about the subject was I enjoyed math and I happened to be decent at it. So when I was getting my undergraduate degree, it sort of melded, blended mathematics and this social science. And I found that really fascinating. And the more there's this geek factor, I think, whenever you are, studying something for a long period of time in your life. I got more interested. I realized the more I studied it, which is not uncommon, the less I knew. And so I wanted to learn more and more. And I really wanted to be an economist. And in my mind, what that meant was needing to go to graduate school and get a PhD, basically. And fortunately, I liked what I was doing. And so I decided to go to graduate school and get a PhD in it. And I ended up getting a PhD in finance. I started the path down econ, but I jumped to that discipline, which is really just a sub-discipline of economics. And that sort of leads you down, if you get a PhD in the social sciences, it often leads you down the academic path, because there's lots of opportunities available. And I've been, serendipity. I've been really fortunate. I like doing research, which, you really gotta like something. The advice, it's a bit trite, but it really is true. If you find something you really enjoy, you never work a day in your life. And I kind of feel that way, especially as I reflect back on my career. I've been very fortunate in a lot of ways. So,
Very fascinating. Yeah, that's really cool how you said your path kind of started from, like a typical class at your school. That was maybe atypical at the time, and that kind of led you into the starting path of econ, and then, as you said, led into finance. My second question was, why do you think economics or finance is a strong career path, and where do you see a lot of your students heading with that degree?
well, I think I'll speak more to finance because I really haven't been involved with econ undergraduates. And I think it's a good career path because there's just so many opportunities based upon your personality type, your skills, if you're introvert, extrovert. I mean, there's job opportunities for all in different areas that provide a fit, really, no matter what your background is, what you are interested in, what your skills are. So, for example, if you enjoy working with data and crunching numbers, there's lots of jobs, financial analyst jobs, risk analyst jobs, actuaries, right? So if you'd like to, just you have good technical skills and you like that sort of thing, there's a lot of opportunities there. If you're more of a people person, or you enjoy interacting with people and you want to be in that environment, there's a lot of jobs in sales, financial products. You can be a financial advisor or a personal finance advisor. So it's really broad. And I think that is a reason that maybe a lot of people do, like a lot of universities in the business school. TCU is one, the majority of our majors by a significant amount. I think we're close to 50% of our majors are in Neely are finance majors. And I think that's because it has a lot of opportunities. And then, the nice thing about it is it pays the bills too. It is a career that if you're fortunate enough to enjoy it, then you can always also make a pretty good living at it. So I think that's why a lot of students do it. And our students, I'm not that um, uh, in touch with where they all get jobs, but I've had some students and, they get good jobs in banking, and some of them go work for private equity, and the Dallas-Fort Worth area, especially Dallas, has a lot of opportunities. So a lot of students who go here, if they choose, they can stay in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and have good careers.
Very fascinating. Yeah, I like how you mentioned that it's not such like a narrow, like broad range of, it is a broad range of jobs that are available within that major. That obviously goes a far way with a lot of the students.
Yeah.
Thirdly, I was just wondering how you think finance specifically will be affected by AI or already is being affected by artificial intelligence.
Well, finance has been using so pattern recognition in data in spoken language and text and things like that has always been something people in finance have been, not surprisingly, interested in. If you're trying to, look at investment strategies and choices and things like that, and trying to, outperform, I guess other, your competitors or other hedge funds, institutions, and things like that. That is useful to see if you can identify something in the data that helps you out. So that's something that has been going on in finance for a long time. So large language models, machine learning, I mean, this is nothing new to the discipline. And so AI really is a way to make a lot of these things smarter and better. And so I think that's what you'll see is just companies that use these models will hopefully find a way that they can use them in a way they think it improves what they already have been doing, in, trading strategies and all these types of things computers have been used for this since computers, have really been useful. But you might also, I can see it really becoming more important where, if we think about a bank and you're trying to get a credit score on somebody, or you're looking for assessing whether, you should give them a loan, whether it's a personal loan or for a business and things like that. I think AI can do a pretty good job of not just crunching numbers, you're looking at patterns, but being smarter at it, right? Just maybe taking features of individuals in a way and characteristics that might help them be evaluated for a loan. Or if you're given financial advice, getting more information about individuals and using AI to perhaps do a better job of giving them, kind of investment advice and or tax advice or whatever, retirement planning and things like that.
Of
So
course.
it's not, yeah, and I am not an expert in this area by any means, so I should have qualified that before I said anything. But like I said, I know something about it. For example, people have gone through textual analysis, like when a CEO is on an analyst call and is giving, analysts information about the company. Well, there's been studies on this, and I know investment analysts do this. They'll go through the text and try to look if there's words that matter and patterns of words that might reveal information. Well, AI could do a much better job of looking at those subtle things that, if I'm trying to if I want to buy stock in a company, and I'm listening to the CEO and I use AI, I might get a signal that, yeah, I want to do that, or I maybe don't want to do it too.
Yeah, of course. Very fascinating how like companies, I feel like it's just seen in such a negative light that like you're touching on the fact that companies can use it to their benefit, maybe making it a little easier and accessible in certain areas. Um,
Yeah, and it comes with its dangers,
of course.
if you're doing a loan application, and this has been discussed a lot, there can be biases, especially against certain groups.
Yeah.
And and so, you got to be careful, all that too. Which you point, yeah, everybody, I mean, I'm not providing any insight here that AI comes with a cost and a benefit and a cost. Yeah.
Of course, of course. And then I was just wondering how specifically the Nelly School of Business different from other university business schools.
Well, I don't know I mean, I think most business schools in general teach a basic curriculum, and they should. And so I think that we do that. I think one of the advantages of Neely, it's more TCU, we're a smaller university. So students get more individual attention, more hands-on, things like that. And which is, again, it's unique in the sense that we're small, but we do have a real estate center and an oil and a gas institute. And so if students are interested in specializing in real estate, we give a degree in that. And then we also, I don't know if we give a formal degree in oil and gas, but you could take classes on it. I mean, I guess that's not shocking that we're in Texas and, you might be able to study the oil and gas industry. And so those would give you, opportunities maybe that other universities might not.
Yeah, for sure. And then my final question for you is, do you have any resources such as like books or websites you would recommend to someone wanting to learn more about finance?
Yeah, in terms of websites, like Yahoo Finance is pretty good if you really want, and that's more technical, if you want to look at market data and what's going on. I use it a lot and might have my students use it. That's a pretty good website. Motley Fool's kind of interesting. There's probably a lot, your generation is more aware of, there's a lot of things out there that, you can, like there's stock market websites that allow you to, play stock market games and things
Yeah.
like that. So now a website I think is very good if you're a major in finance. This is he's at NYU and his name is Aswath Demordaran, if I'm pronouncing Demordaran, and he's a evaluation person at NYU, and he has a website that has all these interesting resources, and a lot of it are technical things like Excel spreadsheets that you can use to in some really interesting areas of finance, like business valuation, portfolio management, stuff like that. That's more techy. Whereas the other websites are, not quite, more interesting maybe.
Mhm.
And in terms of books, yeah, I mean, I guess I go more on the, a book I really like is Against the Gods by Peter Bernstein. It's really interesting. It's about risk and how humans have developed these more sophisticated tools over time for dealing with risk. And then some more fun books, is Too Big to Fail and The Big Short are about the financial crisis, 2008. They're really interesting reads. Freakonomics is, I think, a standard book that people in econ and in finance throw out there. It's pretty interesting. And there's some other ones like Black Swan is good. I will say that we do have the best movies though. The finance has, of all the business disciplines, like Wall Street is a classic, really, really good movie. Trading Places, which you may, that's more of a funny movie, but it's really good. Wolf of Wall Street's interesting. There's some other ones out there. So I've always felt like, well, we do much better than accounting, economics, and
Yeah.
management in our movies.
100%. You guys definitely take that trophy.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, Professor, and I really
Sure.
appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, good luck with your keeping this up with the web interviews and stuff like that, and school.
Yeah,
All
exactly.
right.
Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your
Yeah.
night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.